Across the scorching sands of North Africa and the hedgerows of the beaches of Normandy, one name echoed: Field Marshal Erwin Rommel. World War II's foremost tactical maestro of panzer warfare, rated according to many, if not most pundits, as the most legendary general of the Second World War. Renowned for his ability to smash the Allies' line at its most vulnerable point on numerous occasions. It's no surprise the German was nicknamed by his enemies the Desert Fox. Known as the brilliant maestro of panzer tactics in World War II. Unlike most of his enemy commanders using brute force, Rommel danced across the battlefield. His lightning-fast advances and envelopment tactics bewildered his Allied enemies. His book, Infantry Attacks, published before the war, already highlighted his innovative, shock troop tactics, emphasizing speed, deception, and deep penetration. Please stay with me till the end to uncover who in Nazi Germany shockingly hindered him from achieving victories on his main campaigns. Rommel was born in Heidenheim, Germany on the 15th of November 1891. He died in 1945 at an early age of 52. Churchill, in his memoirs, was brutally honest when he wrote, "Rommel's ardor and daring inflicted grievous disasters upon us. We have a very daring and skillful opponent against us, and, may I say across the havoc of war, a great general." He joined the German army in 1938 and fought in the First World War as a second lieutenant in France, the Romanian campaign, and the Italian campaign. He served in the Wehrmacht of Nazi Germany, as well as in the Reichswehr of the Weimar Republic, and the Army of Imperial Germany. When World War II began, Rommel, at the rank of general, was given command of Hitler's personal bodyguard, and he became known to the Führer, who, recognizing his talents, appointed Rommel as chief for personal security. However, in February 1940 Rommel was appointed commander of the 13th Panzer Division during the Battle of France. During this battle his Panzer Division earned the nickname the Ghost Division, because it could penetrate the Allied lines without infantry support, and with such great speed and surprise that it was difficult to track. North African Campaign 1941 to 1943. This is where Rommel's legend truly solidified. Leading the Afrika Corps. In February 1941, Erwin Rommel arrived in Libya to save an Italian army in disarray. Despite often being outnumbered and having stretched supply lines, he achieved remarkable victories against the British and Commonwealth forces at Gazala and Tobruk. Tobruk, a heavy defended city situated in northeastern Libya, specifically in the Cyrenaica region, along the Mediterranean coast bordering Egypt. He was frequently seen, unlike most commanders, close to the action, leading from the front as he had done in the First World War, which inspired the troops under his command. Reich Minister of Propaganda Joseph Goebbels would also establish Rommel as a hero to the German public back home. In the North African campaign, there would be a major problems of logistics, as supplies had to be delivered over vast distances across the desert, but this didn't stop Rommel from taking swift action on the enemy. Fighting against the British forces, Rommel pushed them back across Cyrenaica and into Egypt. Rommel laid siege to the port city of Tobruk in April 1940 but could not capture it. Following his success in Operation Battle Axe, Rommel now made a new attempt to capture Tobruk and captured the city in June 1941, earning the promotion of Field Marshal from Hitler. Rommel's ferocious offensive was stopped as the Germans had outrun their fuel and other supplies, enabling the British to drive them back. Tobruk was relieved after 7 months on the 7th of December and Rommel was forced to fall back on El Agheil. British commander of the 8th Army, the Desert Rats, Lieutenant General Bernard Montgomery would become Rommel's main adversary in the desert. He had taken over from Lieutenant General William Gott after his death. Rommel and the Afrika Corps were defeated at the Second Battle of El Alamein by overwhelming British forces. Rommel was then recalled to Europe in March when the war in North Africa was lost. As commander of Army Group B, he was assigned to reinforce the Atlantic Wall, the French Channel Coast defenses, against an anticipated Allied invasion. On D-Day, Rommel's Army Group B defended itself strongly against the Normandy landings on the 6th of June 1944. Rommel's defensive preparations were well planned, but his request for tank and other panzer divisions were rejected. However, he was refused to allow his tanks to oppose the landings on the beaches. That was a costly mistake by the Wehrmacht and Hitler despite Erwin Rommel's advice. Instead, Hitler ordered him to hold his armor back in reserve for a counterattack. As Hitler did not believe, unlike Rommel, that the Allies would land on the southern stretches of the Normandy coast. Germany's defeat in the war was looking inevitable, and Rommel had become increasingly disillusioned with Hitler, questioning his decisions even directly. Rommel had not followed Nazi ideology throughout the war, and he wanted to negotiate a peace with the Allies. During this time, people suggested to him that he could take over as leader if Hitler was overthrown. Unaware to Rommel, these people were planning to assassinate Hitler. On July 1941, Rommel was injured in his staff car by a British fighter plane and was sent to hospital. An assassination attempt known as the July Plot was made on Hitler's life during a meeting but failed. When the conspirators were tortured, Rommel's name was brought up. Two officers visited Rommel's home in October while he was on sick leave and gave him the choice of defending himself to Hitler, commit suicide, or go on to trial for high treason, where he would be given a death sentence and his family would suffer retribution. Rommel opted for suicide by taking a cyanide capsule on 14 October 1944, saving his family from the henchmen of the Führer. The field marshal, however, was given a full state funeral where Nazi propaganda had stated that he had died as a result of the attack on his staff car. Subscribe and click the bell for notification of my latest videos on my channel. Rommel's reputation for conducting a clean war was used in the interest of the West German rearmament and reconciliation between the former enemies.